Nikki here, back with another episode of Nikki Talks Food. So today, before we begin, I want you to go ahead and smash that subscribe button, hit the little bell, and as always, leave a comment down below after you watch the video. So today we're gonna make food right out of my pantry and out of my fridge. I decided to make a, what do they call it? Self-quarantine, what's the other one? Lock your bound, homeward bound, whatever. You're stuck in the house kind of food, and we are gonna make bao, which is a steam bun. It's a dumpling, and we're stuffing it with chicken that is caramelized with soy sauce and brown sugar and anything I can find in my fridge. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is make our dough for our bun. So I have 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and I have 1.5 cups of lukewarm water. So we are going to pour just a little bit of this water into a separate little bowl. So I'm using Red Star active yeast and active dry yeast. And why I poured a little bit in this little bowl is so that I can activate my yeast. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 teaspoons. This is a very yeasty dough. And we're gonna give it a little stir. And what yeast is a single cell organism. It's actually alive. When we get it at the store, it's in a dry, dormant state. But in order to bring it back to life, we have to introduce it to warm water. Once we mix this yeast with our carbohydrates, which is our flour and our sugar, the yeast is actually gonna eat the carbohydrates, give off a gas, and that's what makes bread rise. So there's a little science for you. Okay, to our flour, we're gonna add 1/3 cup of sugar. This is a very sweet little bun. 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, so now we're gonna mix that up, because we want the sugar and the salt to be kind of mixed in so that when we put our yeast in, the yeast doesn't come in direct contact with the salt, because that will kill our yeast. Now we're supposed to do 3 tablespoons of shortening. I don't have shortening. I had good old Country Crock in my fridge, so I'm gonna use this. All shortening means is that it's a fat, and the fat is meant to shorten, hence shortening. It's meant to shorten gluten strands. When we knead this dough, we're gonna develop gluten strands, which makes it stretchy and chewy. When you add fat, it interrupts the gluten chain, which makes it more tender. So we're gonna put 3 of these in. All right, so now we're gonna use our hands to mix this all together. So from here, we're gonna let this rest and bulk ferment for about an hour. Wine tastes better out of a jelly jar. Okay, now we're gonna make our filling. Again, this is stuff I just had in my refrigerator, so it's not traditional. Buckle in. And that's how I mince garlic. Super easy. What else we got? Little cilantro. This I had in my refrigerator. And I want a little bit of brightness on the filling, and this is, again, not traditional. I would use green onion, but I want, you know, a little brightness, so I'm gonna throw in some cilantro. I might throw in a little bit of sesame oil too, because I have it. If I didn't have it, I would just leave it out, no big deal. I have about 1 pound of chicken leg meat. That's what I had in my fridge, was leg meat. I actually had to debone it, but I would use thigh meat. You could use chicken breast, you could use ground pork, you could use beef, whatever's hanging around. You could make it vegetarian and just put a bunch of mushrooms and you know, all the rest of this stuff and flavor it the same way, and you'd have a vegetarian filling. All right, so we're gonna add our onions. All right, next our garlic. Then 1/4 teaspoon of Chinese 5-spice. Now our chicken. A whole can of mushrooms. Soy sauce. Actually, this is tamari. Rice vinegar, I like this brand because there's a little sugar in it, and this one has roasted garlic, and it's kind of like, you know, one-stop shopping. Got a tablespoon, a little more brown sugar. And we're gonna let that get all syrupy and sweet. Then we're gonna add our cilantro. We're going to divide these into 1 1/4 ounce balls. Okay, so I got a half-size piece of parchment paper. Put it on the inside of this steam basket. If you don't have a bamboo steam basket, which you may or may not have one, you can just use whatever steaming device you use to steam vegetables. It will work just fine as long as you have steam coming up from the bottom and it's able to steam your buns. We're gonna spray it too. I learned this little trick too, so they don't stick to your hands. It's like when you make Rice Krispie treats. It doesn't have to be pretty. Hey, let me. So here we are. These are done, and they look gorgeous. They're not the most prettiest ever, but it's stuff we found out of our pantry, and this will put the wind in everybody's sails, and they'll be super duper happy with this because these things are like eating a fluffy cloud filled with sweet and savory fillings. So let's try it. Super hot. While I was at home, sit on the couch, this would make me so happy. I don't even know what. I'd organize your sock drawer for you. Or is that a little too invasive for people? I don't know. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like my show, don't forget to hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the little bell, and as always, leave a comment down below. Leave me a thumbs up, too. I want to know what you want to learn next. Let's talk about food. You can buy my pro seasoning at NikkiTalksFood.com. That's Nikki with 2 Ks, and I'll put the link right here. This is the ultimate all-purpose seasoning. You'll never have to use an all-purpose seasoning ever again after this. This is made with Himalayan pink salt. There's no sugar, there's no anti-caking agents, and it's awesome.